So you got five reactions there, and you're being asked which is the major pathway, and for some justification. Logically, you might assume that since there are five possible outcomes SN1, SN2, E1, E2, and no reaction, there'll be one of each. So, one way to approach the quiz would have been to go through looking for each of those pathways. So you could have said, well, there's probably going to be a strong hindered base somewhere. Let me go find it. That'll be the E2 reaction. And if you took that approach, you'd discover that the last one, the fifth one, was the one that had the strong hindered base, potassium tertiary butoxide in tertiary butanol. That's the usual solvent because you use the conjugate acid of the base as the solvent. So you make potassium T-butoxide but dissolving potassium metal in T-butanol. So that's a strong hindered base. Mesylate is an excellent leaving group. This is going to be an E2 pathway. The Hofmann product will be the one that dominates, so it'll go in this direction. But the other thing you have to keep in mind is that for the E2 pathway, the hydrogen that you remove has to be anti-periplanar to the leaving group. And in this side, the hydrogen is actually on the same side as the leaving group. So that hydrogen can't be removed. The only hydrogen that can be removed is this one, which is opposite, right? So, in fact, this is going to be the only significant product, right? If you draw it as a chair with the mesylate pointing down, the hydrogen on the same carbon with the methyl group is actually in the equatorial position, not the axial position. It would have to be in the axial position in order to be removed. And the only way it can be in the axial position is if you flip that chair form to a boat form. So it's going to be very slow for generating the Zaitsev product. And the Zaitsev product is the less desirable product anyway in the case of the elimination with a strong hindered base. So really, pretty much the only product is going to be the Hofmann product in that particular case. Probably one of these reactions was no reaction because there's no leaving group. That was number 4. Right, CH3O minus isn't going to leave, so even though you have a really good nucleophile and you have a polar aprotic solvent that increases the reactivity of that nucleophile and would speed up the SN2 reaction, in the absence of a leaving group, you're going nowhere. So that leaves us with SN2, SN1, and E1 as possibilities. When you see one equivalent of sodium hydroxide, that's usually your tip-off that that's an E1 elimination. It's a good base, but it's in a low concentration. So reaction 2 was the E1 elimination. We have a good leaving group in bromide. We have some beta branching, which is going to slow down the SN2 reaction. And we have a protic solvent in the water. We also have some nonpolar solvent because this isn't soluble in water. So that's going to speed unimolecular pathways. So this is mostly an E1. The Zaitsev product, the more substituted tri-substituted double bond will be the major product, and then the Hofmann product, that di-substituted double bond, will be the minor product. And then we just have to decide between SN2 and SN1, and we've got these two different pathways. Both have some beta branching, which means the SN2 reaction is going to be slowed a bit. But number 3 has a very poor nucleophile. Acetic acid is a neutral solvent. We've got some heat. That's often a tip-off that it's a solvolysis reaction. Acetic acid is not a good enough nucleophile to force an SN2 reaction, so we're going to go through the carbocation here and get a mixture of these two diastereomers, mostly racemization at the reactive center. There's no base present at all, so it can't be any elimination in that pathway. If you draw the carbocation intermediate, it looks like this. You can redraw that as a Newman projection. When I was drawing this, I unfortunately put the methyl group on the wrong side. So this is actually the enantiomer of that with the methyl group back instead of up. The most stable one puts the hydrogen near the methyl and the ethyl and the hydrogen near each other, and then the nucleophilic attack would have to be into this free lobe rather than this one that's eclipsed with the ethyl. The major product would thus be this one, and if you put the two ethyl groups on the same side, that has the methyl group and the acetate on the opposite side. So the major product will actually be this one, which is the one that goes with inversion, and the minor product will be this one. But I didn't really expect you to get into that subtlety. I just wanted you to show that these two products were possible because of racemization at the chiral center. So number 3 was the SN1 reaction, and that leaves number 1 must be the SN2, and I kind of gave you that during the little talk about crown ethers. This 15 crown 5 is in there to remove the sodium. Acetate is a good nucleophile, and now that it's naked, It's an even better nucleophile. Triflate is the best leaving group there is. Non-polar solvent, that has no effect at all. So this is SN2 with inversion. The only product we're going to get is this one that flips the, has the leaving group leaving from the back and the nucleophile coming from the top. There probably will be some racemization from SN1 because of that beta branching. So if you showed partial racemization and showed the other product with the acetate back as a competing product, that would be a reasonable conclusion in this case. But without the beta branching, it would be exclusively SN2. So the first one was the SN2 reaction. Main reason, removing the sodium with the 15 crown 5 to increase the reactivity of the anion. Second one was the E1, low concentration of a pretty good base. The third one was the SN1, based just solvolysis, right? A non-nucleophilic, a poor nucleophile in the presence of a protic solvent, right? It is the protic solvent itself. Fourth one was the no reaction because no leaving group, and then the fifth one was E2 because of the strong hindered base. So hopefully you did fairly well on that. And I don't know if you were smart enough to kind of interpret the way I